My name is Vani Singh, and I've been in the kitchen for as long as I can remember. Nowadays, it's tough to prepare a home-cooked meal after a long day, but I'm going to share some great tips and tricks with you so you can make a healthy dinner in a snap. Tonight I'm making a Trini favorite, Geera pork. I'm using the pork tenderloin, and it is said that that is even leaner than chicken breast. So not only is it healthy, but it's also very tasty. Now I have some pork that's already pre-seasoned in the fridge, but I like to add fresh seasonings to jazz it up a bit before putting it in the pot. I like to use fresh shadabeni before I put the pork into the pot, and I like to leave some over so that I can sprinkle a little once it's done. Finely chop some garlic. To that I will also be adding some extra onions. And you know I love peppers. So I'm going to add two kinds of peppers. The not hot kind. So I'll be using pimentos, which are just full of flavor but no heat really. And then I'd add a little bit of hot pepper. I'm going to be serving my pork with a side of provisions. Sort of a provision pot that's been cooked up a little bit, and it's really no fuss because what I'm using is some cooked provisions that I had in the fridge from before. And what I'm going to do to make it a little more exciting is I'm going to add to that some boiled plantains. Before I get started on the Geera pork, I put the plantains to boil. What I'm going to do now is to just add some of my fresh seasonings to my pre-seasoned pork. Start with the shadabeni, and pretty much you can just dunk everything that you want in there. And what I like to do is to put in a few hot peppers. I personally like blue peppers, but you can use anything that you like, anything that you have on hand. And that's it. You just mix and get ready to cook. Cooking Geera pork is as easy as 1, 2, 3. I'll show you what I mean. You have your pot on the stove, you turn it up, and all you have to do is to add your seasoned pork to the pot. No oil necessary. What happens here is that the pork is going to begin letting out its own juices. What you want to achieve is for those juices to evaporate. When that happens, then you add a little boiling water to it and cook for a few minutes more, and that's it. So now that it's perfectly evaporated, you're hearing that sizzling sound that it's making. It's time to add your Geera. You want to keep adding, stirring, adding and stirring until you achieve your desired color. Now, this is according to your own preference, of course. I personally like to make Geera quite rich and dark. And all I do now is add boiling water. Of course, I'm using boiling water because I don't want to stop the cooking process. And pour in to barely cover it. So now I'm just going to turn the heat up, bring that to a boil, cover, lower it to a simmer, and let that cook for about 10 minutes. Simple as that. While the Geera pork is cooking, heat up a tablespoon of olive oil in a pan. Add some onion slices, season with a dash of salt, add some chopped shadabeni, and then toss in the provisions with the plantains. Well, my Geera pork is done, and it smells heavenly. Put a little extra gravy on there. And perfect. Ready to eat. There are no words to describe just how delicious and simple this is. Geera pork with provision and my morai and red cabbage salad.
Dinner in a Snap is brought to you by the Ministry of Health.